Hi everyone, so the reading I'd like to share with you today is on the Claudia Lawrence case. I do have to say before I start that this is for entertainment purposes only. It's my thoughts and opinions, not fact. For those of you who don't know, Claudia Lawrence went missing somewhere between the 18th and 19th of March in 2009. She worked as a chef at the University of York. She's never been found and it's now a murder inquiry. They did arrest a group of people in relation to Claudia's murder, but they were all released without charge. There was a lack of evidence. Okay, so the first things that I got from this case were that there's a group involvement. There is a number of people around Claudia who were either involved in this or who know about it and know where she is. And I don't mean Claudia's friends, I mean people connected to the perpetrators. So of the perpetrators, the first one that stands out for me is a male in power. And I feel as though he's the one who, I'm going to say, orchestrated or set the ball in motion for this. I feel as though he's the older one in this group of people involved. Now, when I say powerful, I feel that this comes from his family or his family name and the reputation that goes with it. And I don't mean, you know, because they have money or anything else, or because they're connected to the police and organisations. I feel as though this man is quite narcissistic. I feel as though he's extremely dangerous, and I feel as though this is some, I'm going to say, organised crime family. I feel like it's the type of person, if he committed a crime, if anyone knew about it, the witnesses just wouldn't come forward. They'd be absolutely petrified of this person. So he's the first person. Now, even though I feel he orchestrated this, I don't feel as though he was involved directly in Claudia's disappearance. He was the one who was giving orders behind the scenes. I feel as though there's been some sort of tensions, disagreement with Claudia and this person. There's been this drama there, and I don't feel as though it's been out in the open. I don't feel as though she's discussed it with anyone, and I definitely don't feel as though he has. But I do get the impression that when there was this argument, this conflict going on, Claudia didn't really have any idea that she was dealing with someone this dangerous. But again, there's all this secrecy around this argument for whatever reason. I also get that since Claudia's disappearance, this person, this male, he's been involved in some sort of legal issues. Now, I'm getting that he has quite an obsessive personality. He's quite possessive, quite toxic, and I feel as though it's some form of harassment, some form of stalking, and it's to do with a female. It could be some sort of separation or divorce that's went on, but he hasn't handled it very well, and I do feel there's all kinds of issues in the way that he would treat women around him. I'm also getting a lot of, you know, social media and things, so I feel as though this is a family that a lot of people would know and talk about. I feel as though they're powerful because of a reputation, and that reputation is not through being nice to people. I also get that he's having some issues with finances, and I don't know if this is because of a separation or what, but there's some sort of issues with finances going on there. Around him, there's also a female character. Now, I'm not sure if she knows specifically what happened to Claudia, but she has a good idea. Right. Now, the person who actually targeted Claudia, I'm going to say, I feel as though he's a younger person, and I feel as though she does know this person as well. And how she knows him, I'm getting, is that he would be in the same bars as her. They'd be in the same parties, and the picture that I have in my mind about him is that he's someone who would be sat in the bar. He'd have his entourage, I'm going to call them, around him, so he'd be surrounded by groupies. There would be substances involved, there'd be cash flowing around, and he'd have all these people around him. Again, this sort of bad boy reputation, I'm going to say. And I feel as though he's done something with her neck. I feel as though there's something around her neck, something happened, and he's that person. Again, I don't feel as though he was alone at the time. I feel as though there was someone else there. Now, going back to the timings on Claudia's disappearance. So I said it was between the 18th, 19th of March. That's how it's reported in the media and everywhere else. Now, I feel as though on the 18th of March, there was this argument. This is when events started to escalate. So on the 18th of March, there's this argument, more than one person, and I keep getting family around this, not Claudia's family, but this person in this powerful family. And there's some sort of, the plan starts to go, and it's something to do with revenge or payback. And there's this father figure, he's the head of the family and he's in charge, and I get this repeat offender. So I feel as though these people, they're all known to the police. But on the 18th of March, this is when this all starts going into place. On the 19th of March, I get that this is when Claudia's, I'm getting the cover up starts, the planning again as to hiding the body. I do feel there's marks left behind by the group, and for whatever reason they haven't been discovered yet. But with this Claudia setting off for work in the morning on the 19th of March, personally, I don't feel she did set off for work in the morning. I feel as though this is all something that's a little bit staged. I feel as though possibly the early hours on the 19th of March, but she, I don't feel, left the house alone, or immediately after leaving the house there's someone there with her. I also feel like there's this vehicle as well, so she didn't set off on the route. In terms of the statement that someone saw her that morning, I don't feel that this person's lying. When Claudia first went missing, the description was someone with light brown blonde hair, and I feel that's why this person genuinely believed they'd seen her. A few months later down the line, Claudia actually had dark hair at the time, and I feel as though this is where the mistakes happened, but I don't feel that she was walking to work that morning. And I just get this there's this huge web of lies around this case. There's so much stuff going on with it. One of the key features that I keep seeing is this tunnel. Like, I don't know if it's a tunnel, if it's a bridge, but I keep getting that, and that's quite important to this case. I feel as though she was murdered in one place and then moved somewhere else. Okay, and I do feel that there's some evidence somewhere. As I said, I don't feel as though she left the house alone. She was, I feel, being watched. There could have been several people watching her, but yeah, I don't feel she left the house alone. Whenever I do the reading on her, I get this card, so please find me. Like, she, bless her, she wants to be found. There's something there. Now, in terms of how the police, how law enforcement would actually find Claudia, how they'd solve this crime, what I keep getting is there needs to be a confrontation with this person in power, and I'm almost getting that this person is, they feel they can do anything they like, they feel like they've got away with it, and there's no one actually willing to confront them, even though there's knowledge that so many people have that could put this person in prison for what happened to Claudia. In terms of her location now, I always have that Claudia's, she's slightly off the beaten track. I feel as though you walk past Claudia, you don't walk over her. I do also get a vehicle. All right, so it's like a bluey silver, like blue silver. There's a vehicle, and that's the last one that she got in. And it belonged to someone who was a criminal as well. I keep feeling that whatever happened to her, when the hands went round her neck, I feel as though this was close to some waterway. All right, so there was water somewhere nearby, and she was on the move as well at this point. So whether that's in a vehicle or whatever, but something happened close to a waterway with Claudia. In terms of where she is now, I do get the feeling that she's somehow buried, slightly buried. And what I keep feeling is this. So to the north of her location, I feel as though there's a tall building. It's not a nice building. I feel as though to the north it's quite an intimidating place. I keep getting that it could be, is it, you know, where the old gallows were, where people were hung? I feel as though there's something up there, but I get that groups of people go and visit this place, so that's to the north. And I also get this building, quite a famous one, and it's to do with a male. I don't know if it's named after a male, but there's that, and it's close to these old gallows where they would do the public hangings or executions. To the east, I'm getting tunnels, bridges, and a balcony. So some place where the apartments would have balconies, and there's this tunnel or bridges that's quite significant as well. To the south, I'm getting a college. So there's there's some sort of college or students, and I'm getting quite a lot of sadness. So somewhere where sadness, sorrows, and nightmares. So possibly something like a psychiatric hospital. I feel like there's some sort of cemetery or place of mourning that's close by as well to Claudia. To the west, now I get some sort of rehab facility, so somewhere people would go for a little bit of respite. And I'm also getting some sort of surgery or surgeons, but not an actual hospital. I feel like I can see the Emperor card as well, so I feel like it's royal, so possibly some Royal College of Surgeons, and that's to the east of her. With the site itself, there's no vehicle access, I don't feel, around this place. I keep on getting somewhere where you would have quiet reflection or prayer. Close by, there's also somewhere where you would go, I feel as though secret lovers would go to meet, you know, so it's quite secluded. I'm also getting that the area, since Claudia was placed there, the area's been cleaned up quite a bit. I feel as though there could have been some issues with drugs and things like that going on, but there's been this clean up around there too. Now, one of the things that keeps coming out around Claudia's location as well is that there was an accident close by, some sort of accident, and it was something to do with a party or something like that. I don't get much from it, but I know there was this accident. It was people who'd been to a party and then they'd had a collision. It's something to do with the car. I do feel that it's going to be a while before Claudia's found. I can also see people running. So there's a park run close by as well. There's people running. It must be maybe a park run or a well-known running route as well. I do get that there's always people running, but and a mother and father, there's, for whatever reason, there's this mother and father figure close to where she is too. I don't know York very well at all, so I'm not sure where that would be on the map, but I don't feel as though she's too far away from home. I don't feel as though she left Yorkshire. Like I said, I don't feel as though she's going to be found in 2025. I always get the feeling that Claudia will be found when there's some sort of regeneration in that area, and she'll be found by accident. I get that there's males here. The only thing that could change with that, and she'll be found sooner, is there's someone I feel that would like to talk, someone who knows about it, but they weren't directly involved in it. I feel that this is a male who was a lot younger at the time, and it's weighing heavy. It's weighing really, really heavy on him. And I feel as though if he does decide to come forward, that's the only way Claudia will be found before this site gets redeveloped. Thank you for listening.